Well, it's been 9 years since we've been in this position. The Buffalo Bills are going to be searching for a new head coach. Good morning. Welcome to the Northtown Automotive Extra Point Show here on a Buffalo Football Monday. Sal Capaccio with you. It is the Catholic Health Extra Point Show on a Buffalo Bills Football Monday, presented by Catholic Health, the right way to care, and brought to you by Northwest Bank. For what's next, get started at northwest.com and by Northtown Hyundai, Western New York's premier Hyundai dealership. Shop online at northtownhyundai.com. I have Jeremy White and Sneaky Joe DiBiase here with me, Sal Capaccio with you, taking your phone calls. They've agreed to stick around for a segment or so to kind of discuss and walk through what we've learned this morning, which is, according to various reports, people, NFL insiders, not the Buffalo Bills yet officially. The Buffalo Bills have fired head coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons as the Buffalo Bills head coach, hired in 2017. The Bills move on from Sean McDermott. Apparently, they are retaining general manager Brandon Beane. We do not have any official word from the Bills yet. At some point, we expect that to come down. We're taking your phone calls on it today at 803-0550. And, of course, you can watch us on the YouTube or Twitch stream at WGR550. Find us. We're there. We're on video. Come on by. Go to the bullpen. Talk about what you need to talk about, and we'll talk about all this. All three of us in this room, I think we can say, after talking with you guys, are not just surprised, but maybe stunned the Bills made this move. I don't want to speak for you, but let me know. Dan, can we turn on these mics, please, Dan? Dan, can we turn on the mics for these guys? Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes. Stunned. As stunned
Total
as...
shock.
I'm trying to think of the last time to have been this stunned by a move.
Oh, I don't know if I have something.
Yeah.
For the Bills?
Yeah.
Maybe signing or trading or acquiring somebody. Maybe not firing anybody, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I was actually kind of stunned. In mid-November, they fired the offensive coordinator after a Monday night loss.
Sure,
right?
fair.
This blows that.
Yeah,
out
for
of the
sure.
water,
But I was pretty surprised there.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
I guess it speaks to a couple things. It speaks to, well, anytime we've talked about this, like, well, don't be don't be so quick to get rid of this guy because you could go the wrong route, and they're not afraid of that, I guess. You know, whether that's Brandon Beane ultimately making the decision or if it's Terry Pegula. A very popular response we're seeing, Sal, is that Josh must have signed off on this. Josh signs off on a lot. We think he's got input in the organization. It's something that I'm sure he'll be asked about, Brandon Beane will be asked about. But, yeah, stunned. Stunned that it's McDermott that's going to go in a year where I think the fan base started to turn and think, you know what? He's doing a good job with not a lot to work with. That seemed to be a very, very popular sentiment. This roster is kind of missing a lot of pieces. He's holding it together defensively. They did a good job this year, and you lose the division one time, and you're gone.
All
right, so I know. All right, so I'm just sorry. We're getting through a lot of text.
You're Schefter today. You're Schefter. You got the phone buzzing.
Yeah,
he runs out of the room.
Okay, so do you think there was a power struggle?
Yeah.
Do you think that Terry Pegula ultimately almost had to make a choice between Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott here?
I mean, that's how I could imagine it played out. It seemed to be growing, the idea that they weren't tied at the hip, and you had these little comments all year, right? McDermott about Jamarcus Ingram or about, certain things about the roster, and it just felt like it was always growing, that maybe there's a little bit of tension, and if it grew to, okay, one of them's got to go, I wouldn't have been stunned by that. I'm just stunned that it was McDermott that ultimately would be the one that would go. And I'm kind of with the people that would think, like, Josh signs off on it or something, because it's just so hard for me to believe Beane, if there was a power struggle, that Beane would have won it. And what's one way he could have won it if he had the quarterback on his side? You have the quarterback on your side. That's how you win a power struggle.
I want to go back to 10 months ago. I'm at the owners' meetings, and I will tell you, a feeling that me and my colleagues, some of them, shared was that it seemed like maybe they weren't on the same page all the time, right? Just something that when you talk to them and you hear about how they vision the team and things like that. A month later, Brandon Beane comes on the radio here with you guys, the epic viral situation that happens right there. You guys start to kind of feel the same thing, I think, after some things that you're hearing, right? And then we get to the trade deadline, and The general manager says this is a championship roster. The coach is asked 3 days later, do you agree with that? And he says, I love these guys. That, for me, said there's something here. The reason why I never felt, and the reason why I'm stunned today, even saying all that, guys, is I've always felt, regardless of all that, they believe they're better off with each other than without each other.
Yeah.
And that's why that won't happen. But here we are.
A week ago, McDermott was going out of his way to praise Jacoby Myers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. These are things that just kept I'm standing up for Buffalo.
Yeah.
All these little things. The Jamarcus Ingram, Darius Slay, Jacoby Myers.
And maybe we get more now that they're fractured, and who knows where McDermott.
He even mentioned the DB they traded for from Cleveland.
Greg Newsome. Yeah.
Newsome.
Wow.
You're right. Like, I would expect more at some point. I mean, I don't know when the next time you hear from Sean might be until he takes another job in the league. But
I think we have to hear from the GM sooner than maybe we expected. Right?
Maybe.
I'd asked you, Sal, when do they normally talk? You said last year was Thursday. I think Beane has to talk today or tomorrow. You just fired a coach. You have a coaching search. What will you look for in this candidate? What led to this decision? You could say 33 points against. We can't get at the pass. You could say a lot of things. Like he could just point to the scoreboard, which he has done before, and he would not be wrong to say we gave up 33 points to Bo Nix. Like, what are you going to do? Too many times in the playoffs we're giving up too many points. But I think we got to hear from the GM today or tomorrow.
I think today would be a little ambitious. Maybe tomorrow. The Bills haven't even announced this yet.
Right.
It's nothing. There's nothing from the Buffalo Bills. In fact, if you guys go to the Buffalo Bills X feed, I want to do this right now.
Let's be real. They're probably shocked down there.
Yeah, they might be.
People throughout the building are probably stunned.
If you go up for what is the top tweet is Sean McDermott talking about standing up for Buffalo. Yeah. It's still their top tweet. Yeah. Like, we have not heard anything from the Bills on this. There's nothing official.
This is the social media manager is part of the resistance here.
Well, I mean, right?
No, I'm kidding.
Right. So we haven't heard anything yet from the Bills. In due time, I'm sure this will happen. There's going to be the reaction part of it that we have to cover and we talk about, and what do you think about the Bills moving on? And then there's going to be who is the next head coach of the Buffalo Bills. We're going to be covering a coach search here, and the Bills are going to hire somebody, and what does that look like? So I have said, and I'll maintain this again, you hire one of two people, I think, or else it feels really weird to the fan base. It's a tough sell. Now, some people just wanted McDermott out. It doesn't matter how, any way, shape, or form. And those two people would be somebody with a Super Bowl to show you, I know how to do this, or the brightest, probably young, offensive mind. Now, I want to say this, something I've been thinking about for a lot. I am often accused of, criticized, looked at as a very big defender of Sean McDermott. In a lot of ways, I am. There's no doubt about that. And I've examined myself and say, why do I think Sean McDermott, why do I try to, I guess I'd say, defend him or believe he's still the right guy for the job and the Bills should move on? And here's where I came to, and I hope this makes sense to everybody, okay? When you cover a team in professional sports for a decade, as I have, for decades, as other people have, I'm saying when you've been through regimes, this is my fourth coach that I've been covering this team. Chan Gailey, Doug Marrone, Rex Ryan, and Sean McDermott. It's the third GM that I've covered, okay? Mm-hmm. When you are around it, you kind of see and know what it looks like when it should be successful. You also see the flip side, which is that's not what it's supposed to look like. Mm-hmm. I have a lot to compare it to in my position, being with the team, embedded with the team, around the team, okay? I'm not discrediting what you guys do, okay? You know what I mean, right? I'm down there, okay? And I will tell you, when people tell me and they say, defend McDermott or whatever, I think the reason why I've always believed that Sean McDermott should get more due and not be, and still be the head coach of the Bills is I've seen what it looks like in both ways. I think this is what it's supposed to look like to be successful. Mm-hmm. What he does, the program he's built, the culture he's built. It's not just a team, it's a program. And that's why I have always kind of erred on and defended his side, him. Because I've seen what it's not supposed to look like. It shouldn't look like what it is with Rex Ryan. It just shouldn't. I'm sorry. He's had some success. But I've been in that building, and that's not what's supposed to feel like or look like. This, to me, what we've had here in Buffalo with Sean McDermott, is an example of what it should feel like and look like. I'm not saying that he should be in perpetuity, the head coach.
Right.
But that's why I've always been on that side of it.
Former Bills offensive lineman John Feliciano weighs in.
Saw this, yeah.
He said it should be, if it's not Dable, someone in the Shanahan tree. Mm-hmm. We'd love to see Josh and Cook in that offense. So
I would love someone from the Shanahan tree. Who other than We talked about Shanahan, who's got 1 year left on his deal, and he's had some tension with his GM over the years. Who else is on that list? We talked about the passing game coordinator for the Rams. That's McVay, but McVay, Shanahan, it's all kind of similar, the way they run their offenses. Stefanski already got a job, right? He's in Atlanta, so he's gone. I wonder if those coaches, by the way, regret not waiting. Harbaugh, Stefanski. I'm not sure they would have been the guys here, but
I remember getting the question
them?
on Cleveland radio. Would you switch coaches?
I mean, are those
and
guys
I'm going to go back
themselves?
to what I said. If you switch to Kevin Stefanski, are you really doing anything different other than bringing in an offensive guy versus a defensive guy? It's still a guy that's never really won.
That's the thing you're doing, though. You're bringing in a guy that runs a scheme like we're talking about, like the Shanahan-McVay style, and he's doing it with a quarterback that he's never had in Cleveland. So, but again, Again, if you're him, maybe you're regretting, like, I should have hung around and seen if I would have been on their list.
Yeah.
Now it's over.
Tomlin, Harbaugh, McDermott the same year.
Yeah, how about that?
Like, wow.
You wonder how much that played into it. If you see around the league, if you're Terry Pagula and you look around the league and say, hey, look, if these teams are willing to do this, I have to be willing to look and shake things up, right? I mean, you have to wonder if that's the case, right? That he says, and he looks, and maybe he was never fully there. I don't know. We haven't heard from him. Maybe he's not fully there, and he says, look, they moved on from John Harbaugh after 18, 19 years. Mike Tomlin, after... These guys are successful. I have to really be honest and say I have to be willing to do this. You have to wonder.
And again, like vision. Brian Daboll, it did not work for the Giants. Of course, he had, David Jones and Daniel Jones and Jackson Dart. Brian Daboll, head coach. Davis Webb, OC, is going to be something people mention.
Pretty good pairing, right there.
But let's remember what that is. Mm-hmm. That is a guy that wanted to throw it all the time.
Yeah.
And does Brandon Beane want to do that? He didn't build this team like he wants to do that.
Right.
Does he want to build that team? Beane could kind of come out of this making it look like, I built the team in the way the head coach wanted it, and it was time to move in a different direction. You always got to evolve. Do they want to evolve into a different kind of... Brian Flores, Jesse Minter, who else is out there like these defensive coach names that we've heard?
Chris Shula.
If you hire a defensive-minded coach that has never won a Super Bowl,
I'd be blown away.
I think that would be really tough to sell to this fan base.
I would be surprised, too. Maybe I'm a little more open to it than I think you're leading on, Sal, and the only reason would be that every action Brandon Beane has taken, in whether it's draft, free agency, he is always pouring into the defense. And would he just look so simplistically at the game that just happened and say, well, we gave up 33 points in a playoff game. I scored 30. I'm still scoring out here. That's the argument he made when he came out here. A wide receiver. Hey, we scored 30. Like, what do you mean? I gotta go get an offensive genius. We're scoring 30 anyway. My defense isn't doing it in the playoffs again. And I don't think that's the right way to look at it because I can't imagine anybody doing better with the personnel they had on the defensive side of the ball. But I'm not sure if that's how Beane looks at it.
Right. And another offseason of, if I have Josh, I should be fine on offense.
I will say that, though. That's why I'm not that afraid of, moving on. I'm not necessarily sure they should have done this. But to me, what's very different than coach searches during the drought is your floor was you're the worst team in football.
Right. You're starting a culture. You're trying to build from ground zero.
Whereas your floor now is, I'm winning 9 or 10 games if Allen is healthy. Is my usual floor. And... back then, you were not a place that anybody wanted to go to. You get Chan Gailey, who was a fired offensive coordinator, because you couldn't attract good people to come here. Right now, you immediately become the best head coaching job.
And that's where Brian Daboll will have plenty of fans, and there's reason to think that might be a good idea, relationship with Josh, all that. But does Kyle Shanahan, his agent, call? Anybody that's employed could call and say, I might want to go there instead. I'm trying to think of other coaching candidates that would be trade candidates other than Kyle Shanahan. Matt LaFleur just got extended.
He just got extended.
He just got happening. But if he was still in lame duck status, I'd be talking about Matt LaFleur in a heartbeat as a potential Shanahan. Or sorry, he's a McVay tree guy, but McVay and Shanahan are kind of on the same tree.
I'm looking, and I don't see really anybody else that really makes sense for that other than
not a Zach Taylor or anyone like that, right? I mean, you went
Kevin O'Connell.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, well, I don't know what his heartbeat. I don't know what his contract status is, but
you tell me the price for Kevin O'Connell. That's a heartbeat move. Yep, right away.
Shane Steichen,
not as quick.
Sirianni,
no.
There's a lot of stuff going on there,
Kevin
right?
O'Connell. I got to
Local
tweet that.
guy?
Add Kevin O'Connell to I will pick him up at the airport.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely. He doesn't want to hang out with J.J. McCarthy? Get him out.
Yeah. He signed an extension in January, O'Connell, so that might not be, yeah. Some have speculated it could be he signed maybe that was last January. He signed like a 5-year deal.
All right, I
He's
guess
got a long contract.
Not going to happen.
Part of the Shanahan thing that keeps that door open is 1 year on the contract, tension with the GM.
Yep.
And he hasn't, like, all the winning arguments. I mean, if Brandon Beane just won a power struggle against Sean McDermott, John Lynch couldn't win a power struggle against, Kyle Shanahan, that would be, to me, equally as surprising.
I mean, do you guys remember, I'm sure you do, when McVay was hired the same year as McDermott, right? 2017, I believe.
2017.
McVay, Shanahan, McDermott all the same year?
Yeah.
Remember, anybody after that who touched Sean McVay got a job, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Is that
Still
the Ben
happening.
Johnson effect? Declan Doyle, the offensive coordinator for the Bears? Like, does Ben Johnson's tree now, anything, pixie dust all over these guys that Ben Johnson's been around, right?
It's a good thought.
Benjamin Solak points out this about Brandon Beane, and I think the national media will have a conversation about whether or not Beane should stay. Since drafting Josh Allen in 2018, the Bills have drafted 56 players. 2 of them have made the Pro Bowl.
How many did McDermott draft in 2017 that have made the Pro Bowl? 3?
56
Milano,
players.
Dawkins, and
since drafting Josh Allen, 56 players.
Yeah.
James Cook and Dawson Knox have made the Pro Bowl. And that's it.
I mean,
that's not the only way to measure a good player. Christian Benford's a good player.
yeah, I mean, there's other guys. I think these guys
So-
are voted in, but yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, guys that went to the Pro Bowl, but that's probably
2
out of substitutes.
Their
but,
last
and things like that.
their last defensive lineman to make the Pro Bowl is Kyle Williams.
Yeah.
The players picked have not been up to standard, and the GM's got to get better at it.
Leger, what is it?
Duzable?
Duzable. Yes, I always say his name right.
Yeah.
Right? He says the Bills better be right in doing this because the grass isn't always greener. That has always been the thought of. We've been down this road where we know what it feels like to not be successful and winning every year and have a chance. The person you get next better
be the brightest offensive mind you can probably find.
Now
I'm
always
with you there.
But to me, again, if you get this wrong, you're a bubble wildcard team.
For sure,
You're probably still making the playoffs
because of Josh.
You get it right, you're winning the Super Bowl. Like that's the new formula for this. Right. We've not had a coach search like this ever, right?
Right.
I mean, Sal, you go back further, a lot further than me and Jeremy. Did they have a coach search like this in the 90s?
When's the last?
Is this what it sounded like when Marv?
When's the last time?
Wade was the guy.
Like, when's the last time you were looking for a coach where it's not about rebuilding something or building something up? It is about next step is Super Bowl.
Hold on.
I don't know if they've ever had a coach search
beyond
like
if we've had that. List of MVP quarterbacks. When's the last time the reigning MVP had a coaching opening?
The reigning MVP.
He'll only be reigning for another month.
Had a coaching opening. Would it be Green Bay? No. Did Rodgers win one?
Rodgers?
And then, I don't know. Good question, Joe. You know what? Maybe in a way you would go back to even like a Wade Phillips to Greg Williams, right? Like, hey, we're here. We know what we have here, and I have to go back and look at it. That would be an example of maybe what you're saying, which is we'll get somebody in here to get us further than what we've been because we're right there and we have a good roster. Right. And then then that didn't go well. So that might have been it. It's been a while since we've had a coaching search here. No doubt. And now we're going to do that. And now we talk about who you want as the Bills head coach. So everything's on the table at 803-0550. Sal Capaccio here with you on the Northtown Automotive Extra Point Show. Jeremy White, Siki Joe DiBiase. You'll let these guys decide what they want to do here.
I'll go. You can have your show.
You can stick around. You can do whatever you need to do.
Process and figure it out.
I want everybody to know, I was in mid-podcast with Matt Bove when this happened. We are keeping the podcast up and putting it out so you can hear us actually react in real time to the news, but go find it. It's always game day in Buffalo. Joe, go ahead.
The Bills have made it official.
Okay.
They've released a statement. You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
The Buffalo Bills announced that Sean McDermott has been relieved of his duties as head coach. Quote, can I get who the quote is from? Maybe it'll come up as I read it. Sean, you want me to get that first?
Yes.
Terry
Doesn't
Pagula.
say, right?
Terry Pagula.
Okay.
From Terry Pagula. Sean has done an admirable admirable job of leading our football team for the past 9 years, but I feel we are in need of a new structure within our leadership to give this organization the best opportunity to take our team to the next level. We owe that to our players and to Bills Mafia. Sean helped change the mindset of this organization and was instrumental in the Bills becoming a perennial playoff team. I respect all the work, loyalty, and attention to detail he showed for this team and the community. I wish Sean, Jamie, and his family all the best.
Hold on. Before you read the next paragraph, something very important in the next paragraph.
Yep.
Read the next sentence.
Moving forward, Brandon Beane will now serve as the president of football operations / general manager of the Buffalo Bills.
Brandon Beane gets a not only stays on, he gets a promotion.
It's Beane's team.
Brandon will oversee all facets of our football operation, including the oversight of our coaching staff. I have full faith and have witnessed Brandon's outstanding leadership style and have confidence in his abilities to lead our organization. Beane will now be leading the new coach search and will be working directly with Pagula and Pete Gwelly, who will now serve as president of business operations during the interview and hiring process.
I'm just putting this out there. What do you think about the move of Beane? President of football operations. President, right?
It's a new title.
Is it vice president or president?
No, president of football operations.
Jordan Phillips called it sickening. This bleep is stupid, honestly sickening regarding Sean McDermott's firing.
This is something Terry does not do on the hockey side. He does not have a president of hockey operations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, that's right. Yeah, I don't think Jarmo Kekalainen doesn't have that title.
Is that notable to you? I mean, they are different sports, but he's never been. No, okay.
I
don't know. I just think it's interesting
a new
that
title, but is his job any different?
I don't know.
Quote from Davis Webb. Peter Schrager unearths a Davis Webb quote from a year ago.
Yeah.
I love Buffalo. It's my favorite place I've ever played. My best friend is the starting quarterback over there.
I'm going to tell you guys, Davis. I caught up with Davis Webb at the owners' meetings. I caught up with Davis Webb on the field pregame yesterday. He loves Buffalo. And in fact, I would say this. I think he would be able to go to Buffalo in any capacity he wants, like navigate that and say, hey, I have an opportunity here, even given his, what he's doing in Denver. Like, I think that would be something he would want to do. Now, I just don't know if the Bills would want to go with a first-time guy he's not even calling the plays there. What does that look like? He's super smart, though, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes.
Cameron Wolfe just talked to 3 Bills players who were just learning the news that he was fired after we all did. They were all shocked. The players did not see this coming. Several players did not see this coming.
What about all of you? 803-0550. We will take some phone calls here in the Northtown Automotive Extra Point Show here on a Buffalo Football Monday. Sal Capaccio with you, Jeremy White, Joe DiBiase. Thanks for hanging out. All of your phone calls on the reaction. And now, moving forward, the Buffalo Bills have fired head coach Sean McDermott. It is official from the team.